for kamehameha.
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of Drawing It Out, the podcast where I pick the topic and we draw it out. So grab your favorite drawing utensil and join me as we search for the magical Dragon Balls. Today's episode is all about Dragon Ball and all things in that universe. Up front, as part of this restructuring, I'd like to talk about some art stuff and news about what I've got going on. So, as you guys know, I've been stepping away from using Adobe Illustrator as my main method of doing line art. This is basically because I use Adobe Illustrator as kind of a crutch to give myself clean lines as opposed to learning how to actually draw clean lines myself. So I made the final leap. I downgraded my package from Adobe from the all-inclusive, all-apps subscription, which is good because apparently they were going to charge me $30-some-odd, which I mean is still cheaper than the normal one, but they had sent me an email saying that they were going to charge me 20-something. But that's fine. I had planned to make this transition from Adobe Illustrator to just Photoshop. And then even from Photoshop, I've been trying to get my hands on Clip Studio. Well, I did some browsing on the internet late last night, and I went to the Smith Micro website. And from there, I found that they have physical disc copies with licenses and stuff that they'll send out to you for less than half of what the actual price of that program is if you buy a digital download. I roughly paid about $76, which is roughly $25 more than what I'd pay if I would have gotten the Clip Studio Paint version. And that's awesome. That should be here any day, and from there I'm gonna, not only start working in that more than Photoshop. I'm hoping to eliminate my Photoshop bill, and I also have an idea for a comic. I've been toying around with the idea of doing a almost like a Sentai magical girl slice of life book. So I'm hoping to do that. I'm not putting any stock in it. Who knows if I'll actually get anything finished, because I fancy myself someone who loves to read comic books. I love to read manga. But I don't know if I have it in me to actually, draw a full comic. So we'll see. I've got that script plotted up to chapter or issue 12, depending on how I want to format it, whether I want to do a webcomic with chapters or if I want to do a full-blown manga / graphic novel. We will see. We'll see where I get. I do have to pivot with it a little bit, so I've got ideas for that. I'm thinking of, it was going to be like a traditional either Japanese girl in kind of like a Big Hero 6 San Francisco type world, but I think I'm going to pivot and maybe try something a little different. Maybe do like a African American girl, or not African American. Ice Cube, you say it, black. I'm going to do a black girl. Now, that being said, I am not a black girl, but, I do know a fair amount of what it's like to live as a person, and I like to think I'm a very enlightened individual, and we'll see where it goes. I mean, if Brian Michael Bendis can do it, I can do it, and, I'll obviously not do anything condescending. I don't want to be writing anything that is stereotyped or racist, because that's, that doesn't make a good story. If you know, you want to see stereotyped characters, watch, you know, anything by Tyler Perry. Watch, sadly, anything about redneck white America. You know, it's out there, but I don't think it makes for a good story. So I won't involve that. But we'll see when I get there. I'll keep you guys updated. Now, I know that's not what you joined me for this video. You'll notice that I put up a bonus video that is a speed drawing. And I'll probably be doing some of those where it's just you watching me draw with some background music, whatever I can get away with. And, you know, no talking. Because I'm sure you guys don't want to hear my voice all the time. And in this video, and the Bulma video from the speed draw, you'll notice that towards the end, I went back and I fixed some things. With the Bulma video, I had forgotten to color in the back end of Goku's hair. And I didn't notice it until I had posted it up on Instagram. And it was like, hey, wait a minute. So I went back in, I recorded me recoloring it because, you know, I'm not going to submit this video with that mistake in there. And in this one, Android 18's smile was bugging me. I had given her a smile similar to the one Bulma had, and that just didn't feel right. Android 18 isn't a smiler. She's very much a resting bitch face type of gal. So I decided I would go in, kind of meet that in the middle. You'll see that towards the end of the video. I also forgot to give her a second butt cheek. So you'll notice that I do that as well. In this video, I tried something that one of you had suggested, of not doing my colors and my line art on the same layer. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's still kind of hard for me to remember to toggle back and forth between the layers. The trunks that is on the title card for this, I tried to do it and I forgot to put some of the colors on a different layer. Same with this Android 18, where I colored the boots on the same layer as the line art. So it's a work in progress, and we'll see how it goes from the manga studio / clip studio. When I was doing my free trial of that, I couldn't even color on the same layer. So we'll see. I'm sprouting wings, guys. I'm not breaking the mold here. I'm just trying to get some cool art in your face. But we'll see. We'll see how I develop. See how this goes. This is different. I've for so long been such a slave to using Adobe Illustrator that just working in Photoshop is scaring the crap out of me. But I think I've made some good progress. My lines are a little bit cleaner for these videos. My coloring works pretty much the same as it was when I was still doing the Adobe Illustrator. But I hope you guys like it. If you have any more tips for me, I'm using a Microsoft Surface Pro 3 to draw on, so there's some line wobble. If you guys have any ideas how to fix that, let me know. So I decided to bump the Power Rangers video for next time because last week a new Dragon Ball game dropped, and I figured it'd be a good time to talk all things Dragon Ball. It amazes me how much things from my childhood has endured the test of time and are still so beloved. I fell back into a Dragon Ball craze sometime in like 2015. I found all the DVDs, or at least up until the Cell Saga, at a local record store for $10 a box set, which I had to check all of those DVDs over because it's like, there's no way that these are only $10 each. What's the catch? And they were all in really good condition. It felt really good to rewatch all those old episodes. Made me realize how much of the show I'd missed. When I'd started, they were well into the Frieza saga. So I hadn't seen any of the Gohan being forced to rough it out on his own, being trained by Piccolo. Like Toonami, for a while. I think there was a writer's strike. So they had just rerun a bunch of the Frieza saga. And this was like a mid... I'd say it was later 90s because I had discovered Sailor Moon first. And this was pre-cable. But yeah, it was really eye-opening, and it was great to see those old episodes. Akira Toriyama loves drawing baby dick. It's really unsettling. I don't understand it. Like, the first time you meet Goku in Dragon Ball, baby dick. The first, like, couple of scenes in Dragon Ball Z, baby dick. I just don't get it. At least with the Toonami, they're like, we're gonna censor it. But the DVDs, nope. Just fully out there. Oh. But, it was really nice getting to recap those. These weren't the Kai versions. Maybe that what might be why they were the $10. So I got to see all the filler with the Ginyu gang and them traveling all over, Namek, Goku, doing all the crazy shit on the Dragon Bridge. Or not Dragon Bridge, Snake Way. I'm a really fucking bad fan because I forget these things all the time. But yeah, I got to see all the filler episodes with that. And it was also good to see the Trunks stuff again. Trunks is my favorite Dragon Ball Z character. It's mainly because when I was growing up, I had this friend Zach and his sister Courtney, and they were really into Dragon Ball Z. Like, Courtney would draw, like, these really awesome collage pieces, or not collage pieces, they were like group shots, which I'd find, apparently Akira Toriyama did a shit ton. I find this out because I have these really awesome Dragon Ball Akira Toriyama collected art volumes that I didn't have back then, so I had no idea that this was something that he had already done. But they introduced me to the Android Saga and the Cell Saga, and because up until then, Toonami, I don't think had covered any of that. I think they got to the Z Gang making their wish with the Namekian Shenron, which I'm sure that dragon has its own name, but it's going to be called Shenron too. So we hadn't seen any of that. Or at least I hadn't. Maybe they had because they knew where to find it. But they introduced me to the Trunks, the Future Trunks, and the Android Saga. And they introduced me to something I didn't know existed, which was unedited anime. I had no idea that you could just go to a place and buy VHS tapes of anime. The only place I'd seen anime or Dragon Ball Z or any of that was either on the local TV or on, like, cable, or the bootleg recordings that, like, one of my family members would do for me. So this blew my mind, because now we're seeing androids sticking fists in people. Like, I think it was Yamcha? Freaking Yamcha got a fist through the chest. and it blew my mind. I thought my mom was gonna come over any second and yell at me because I shouldn't have been watching that. And it was just amazing. And in these VHSs, they also introduced me to the History of Trunks movie, which I love that VHS above, or not even just that VHS. I love that Dragon Ball Z movie above all other Dragon Ball Z movies, because it's like the Dark Knight Returns / Terminator Salvation of the Dragon Ball series. You have a grizzled one-armed Gohan and like Trunks just trying to stay one step ahead of the androids and, you know, just training out. And I don't think Gohan had gone Super Saiyan at that point. So seeing him go Super Saiyan in that movie was like, what? I think that is the one Dragon Ball Z movie that I could just watch anytime. And when I find that, I know there's a DVD / Blu-ray out there. / I like saying / There's a DVD or Blu-ray out there. I'm gonna have to just buy that, because that is definitely rewatchability. They did someone did a fan video on YouTube, and it was amazeballs. I might link it in the description if I can find it. I think they teased it as like a show, but I only watched the first episode. They really need to start putting some of these YouTubers to work. Like, I don't understand how we get such good quality from fan-made stuff, but these studios just can't get it together. Like, I'm gonna have to do a Ghost in the Shell video just so I can bitch about the Scarlett Johansson movie. I'd bitch about the Dragon Ball Z Evolution movie here, but you guys could just go over to the Wizard and the Bruiser podcast and listen to their 3-episode Dragon Ball Z history and their bonus commentary for that movie. And the bonus commentary for that movie is freaking hilarious, but it's almost like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan commentary where they're kind of just saying what's happening on the screen. And it makes me sad, too, because they pointed out that the actors from Shameless, that are like, I think it's Jimmy and Fiona, are Goku and Bulma in that movie. So, it is rough. But back to what I wanted to talk about today, which is none of that. I haven't seen any Dragon Ball Super. I probably should. I saw Battle of the Gods. I watched Battle of the Gods on YouTube because I'm an asshole. I should probably, pay a few shekels to iTunes or go invest in the DVD because it's a good movie. But I went and I saw Return of F, or Resurrection of F, the Frieza movie, in theaters. And that was an experience. I highly recommend, if you can ever go see an anime feature film in theaters, go do it. It is the best experience for anime movies. We just recently watched the Madoka Magica third movie on Netflix, and that was one of those movies I wish I could have watched in theaters. But back to Dragon Ball. I really like the new characters of Beerus and Whis. Like, I like that they just are like food. They're looking for food. They're like super powered versions of Boo. And I think they fuck with Boo at one point in the Battle of the Gods movie. I'm gonna have to rewatch that when I go and pay some shekels, as Kevin Smith would say. But I like that they present a real threat to Goku and the Z Squad. And it's not even like a threat that they can really punch their way out of. I'm pretty sure they do punch their way out of it, or at least they make an offering of food. But I like that they kind of just, like, these are real characters that no amount of how powerful Goku is, it's not going to get fixed. I read recently, because I was looking into Dragon Ball Super after buying the Dragon Ball FighterZ game, that apparently Akira Toriyama isn't actually working on Super, and I had heard that he'd gotten involved because that Dragon Ball Evolutions was such a turd that he didn't want anybody else messing with his stuff. So it's kind of mixed messages here. And if I'm getting any of this information wrong, you guys can feel free to shout at me in the comments. I probably won't respond to any, like, shit, but I would appreciate a heads up if I'm wrong. I might do a Clements video. But yeah, apparently Akira Toriyama is only involved as far as, like, outlines and roughs. But there's a guy that's working on it who's pretty much just drawing like Akira Toriyama, which I don't think that's hard to do. There's plenty of people out there. I know when they did the whole Dragon Ball GT, that was just, I believe the Funimation studio made that. It was either the Funimation or it was Toei that made that. But I mean, it can be done. Like, there's tons of us that just traced and drew over Akira Toriyama's artwork. So I'm really gonna have to give Super a try. See how it looks. If not, I was thinking about doing the manga to see what that looks like. But let me know what you guys think I should check out, or if there's just, like, specific story arcs in the show I should check out. Because I'm really doing lots of anime catch-up. I love that there's a Funimation app. So I'm probably going to blow through the original DBZ first. As far as the Dragon Ball FighterZ game, which was the whole reason I bumped the Power Rangers episode, I'm really digging it. The story mode is pretty good. I like the new edition of Android 21. Spoilers. She seems like she's going to be a Majin character. I haven't finished story mode, so if you guys have finished it and you know how that turns out, I mean, she basically looks like Lady Boo, so I have a good inkling of where that's going. She keeps talking about turning them into candy and eating them. So I can't wait to see where they develop that. I think my favorite characters so far to play in the game are Krillin and Vegeta. I'm a big Vegeta fanboy. I initially went to the GameStop just to get the exclusive Vegeta action figure, which once I've played the game, I found out that color scheme denotes that they're clones. And I said spoilers earlier, so you guys can't get mad at me for telling you that. In this game, for the little bit of the grinding portion, they found a way to keep you playing by bringing in a clone aspect. But that, it's still a cool figure. I may do a action figure review video. I'm not sure if I'm going to do those here, though. I might take those to my personal page. We will see. Because I also got a Modica Magica figure in the mail the other day. Then I might review that too, although it was a Loot Crate exclusive, but you can find a bunch of them on eBay. I don't understand these Loot Crate people. They're like, oh, yeah, no, fuck that. All these toys are going to go on the internet. Like, why spend all that money? I digress. That has nothing to do with Dragon Ball Z. But those people's foolishness is treasure for the rest of us, right? Oh, sorry if I keep burping, guys. I have a Mountain Dew Kickstart. It's grody. Not the drink, but me burping. But like I said, I'm a big Vegeta fanboy, and in this game you get to do like the Powerball barrages that he likes to do. At least, especially when he first showed up against Goku. And they're super effective, and it's super fun to be able to do that, because you're essentially just reenacting stuff from the show. The last time I got a feeling like that from a video game was probably Batman Arkham City, when you got to swoop around the city, beat up the bad guys, and do all the Batman stuff. And it was really cool to be able to do that in this game. I really like fighting games because I'm not good at the grinding games where I play non-stop. I've got to go from point A to point B. I like something that I don't have to commit to, that I can put the controller down, I can save the game, I can come back, and I don't have to remember where I was at in the story. That I'm good at fighting games. I'm good at memorizing the buttons. And for the most part, these buttons are pretty much universal. A lot of the buttons you use in this, I remember I had the PlayStation Ultimate Battle 22 game. For some reason I thought it was Ultimate Battle 23, or I thought it was like Budokai 23. I did a Google search. I was wrong. But, yeah, a lot of the buttons are like that. The power-ups, the combos to make the kamehamehas work. Those are pretty much the same. If you can do any of Ryu's moves in Street Fighter, you'll be fine at this game. Just like in Injustice, if you can do any of the combos in Mortal Kombat, you'll be fine in that game. Which, that's another fighting game that, if you want something that reminds you of the comic books, you want something that, when you're done doing something, you say, fuck yeah, get that game. This game, from all of the hours I played it, because I played it nonstop, I think Tuesday and Wednesday, and every time I did a move, I was like, fuck yeah, take that bitch. Sorry if anybody's offended by that language. I don't care. It's my channel. I got so excited, and I haven't got excited like that in a long time. So, I highly recommend you guys check it out. No amount of me pontificating here will do it justice. This isn't going to be the last video on Dragon Ball Z. We will most likely do another one. I'll probably do another one after I watch Super. How about that? Or after I finish the game. And I barely scratched the surface on any of the topics we've talked about. And some of these I've just said how awesome things are. So we'll be doing more videos down the line. Let me know if there's any particular one you want to see me do a part 2 of first. The opening video, or not video, the opening song to this video is Super Kamehameha by rapper Sese. He has 3 full albums just about Dragon Ball Z. So check those out on iTunes. I will link that in the description. If you guys want to support this channel, check out the links below. I've got a merch store, I've got a coffee, I've got a Patreon. Every little bit helps, and they help go towards making marker review videos and buying sketch covers. I appreciate every one of you that likes, shares, and subscribes and watches every week, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.